something I want to talk about real quick. Forgiveness. I guess you may call this my second sermon. I don't know. Internet stuff is weird for me. Anyway, people don't understand why forgiveness is so important. Too many people think that forgiveness is about the other person. Really, forgiveness isn't even about you. Forgiveness is about God. And the reason I say that is if you're holding on to your own sin, forgiveness includes forgiving yourself. If you hold on to your own sin, or you hold on to someone else's sin, basically you're not forgiving them. What you're doing is making that sin your God. Forgiveness actually releases that sin, not from accountability, but from a place of importance. The point of forgiveness is so you can be free from the bonds of that sin in order to heal spiritually, emotionally, maybe even mentally or physically. There are sins that have physical repercussions. So, yeah, forgiveness isn't about you. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. Forgiveness is about God. Because whatever you refuse to forgive, you're choosing to worship. If you want to worship God, you have to forgive. It's not about accepting the sin. It's not about deciding that the sin is okay. Because sin is not okay. It's never okay. The things that I've done in my past, a lot of it I've confessed to here on YouTube for several reasons. But I don't remember where I was going with that, but I have a hard time forgiving myself for those things. And there are other people who outright refuse to forgive me. This is where I was going with it. I don't believe that the things that I did wrong are okay. I'm not okay with the things that I did. I wasn't really even okay with it then. I was just stupid and selfish. That's really where all sin comes from. You're being selfish, childish, and, for lack of a better word, stupid. Wise people find excuses not to sin. Fools make excuses for their sins. I am not okay with the things I did in my past. And because of that, I do find it hard to forgive myself. There are other people I have trouble forgiving. And this is something I'm working through. But as long as I hold on to that unforgiveness, I'm bound to that sin. Whether it's that other person's sin that I'm worshiping or my own. The reason I have trouble forgiving myself for the things that I did is because the things that I did were so appalling that I am absolutely disgusted with myself. So, that's something I'm working through. Even knowing the truth of unforgiveness, it's still difficult. But just like I am, you got to keep working at it. And the idea is to put God at the top instead of yourself or your sin. Because as long as you focus on God, the sin becomes smaller. Instead of being this giant monster that takes everything over, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller till it is something that you can comprehend and, with the help of Christ, defeat. So keep working at it. Always keep God foremost in your mind. And then the sin will get small. And eventually, the forgiveness will come on its own. That's what I'm working toward. And I hope that you all do the same thing. Remember, forgiveness is not acceptance of a sin. Forgiveness is a refusal to worship that sin. So, whatever you do, always try to be better.